Hi everybody, it's Grace. Welcome to Eating Peace. It's the weekend and it's beautiful spring, so I'm sitting on my front porch again today to tell you about a little something that happened yesterday in my own mind and watching. It's totally related to eating peace. So I was walking down a long sidewalk to my car, and I was walking down a building that turned out to be shiny and glass-like, so beautiful. And I could see myself perfectly, the image of myself walking right alongside myself down the whole sidewalk. And I could see my face and my hair and my clothing and my jeans and my shoes, the fullness of this body. And it reminded me of how little children, when they first see themselves in a mirror, think it's something else besides them. They're looking at something outside of themselves. Which in a way, they're exactly right. We begin to recognize that this is an image, a reflection of who we are, of the body, somewhere, pretty young. And so we begin to wonder about that and look and make note of it, that here's this shape and image and vessel that we've got, and we're looking at it closely. And then we also begin to get very, very critical of it. We want it to be like another different body. We want it to look like something else. And I had the thought for a moment, like I noticed that I tucked my shirt in, that it was kind of all bunching up around the belt, and I tucked it in. So I made an adjustment based on what I saw that I would not have known and would not have necessarily felt. I looked down for a moment. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's tuck it all in. But it's just an automatic thing that was done. The way I used to be, if I walked down a street like that and happened to glance at myself in the window or a mirror or, a reflective glass, is I would think ugly immediately. I would think something's wrong. You need to do something about your weight. You aren't thin enough. Look at those legs. My eyes would actually sort of automatically zone in on the parts that I didn't like. I might look at my belly or my rear end or my thighs, and I would gaze at those and not really look at my shoulders or arms or top of my head. It would become this sort of pinpointed, highlighted place of dislike. And it was so fast. It would happen so quickly. And you all might notice that you do that to yourself as well. You have to have something to compare it to in your mind in order to glance and see something so quickly. The mind is so brilliant, it's so fast. But you have to have a comparison image inside in order to be able to even decide that your image does not measure up. They have to be in the files, and we begin to store them, often from very young. I like that, and I like that, and I like that, and I don't like this, and don't like this. Don't ever look like that. And this notion can arise inside, this idea, thought, feeling, a whole philosophy of I'm against this, I'm against it, I hate it. So if you notice that you have a surge of that, it's like hatred for this image, wrongness, there's been a mistake, I don't like it, I don't want it, it will quickly move also into something that hates what is within you, something inside of you. You hate your own actions and your activities and the belief that it's your fault that you have created this body. You have wound up in this body. And then, of course, that makes us think all kinds of things like, I'm going to never eat again, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to start exercising, I need to do something about this. Or even to just, can even be joking, but it's kind of like that mean joking, mean girl joking, which isn't loving and kind. There can be laughter about the way our minds do all this stuff and all the shenanigans it takes us through, and thoughts that it thinks that are completely confusing and oppositional. But I'm not talking about that kind of laughter. It's like a deep sense of self-criticism. And it just starts a path. It's like a boulder rolling down a hill. It just sets up a path of, I have to, I have to, I have to. And then pretty soon you feel even worse. And so let's just look at how to deal with that, the speed of that kind of self-criticism today. Even just a glance, seeing something. We all know that the mind is so incredible and fast that it can see the shape of a human or the shape of a leopard in times when we were out hunting on the savannah, right? And we can see it out of the corner of our eyes and be alert to it. Care, attention, look, watch, see something very, very, very fast. Sort of as a survival mechanism, lizard brain. And you can see that it's the same kind of speed that happens when you have this glimpse. Sometimes people have reported to me that they do this. I remember it myself. You see pictures of yourself in photos and have this sinking, terrible feeling as well, very, very quickly. Like, oh my God, I look so terrible. No matter what kind of looks are going on there. Let's just look today at how we can work with that kind of response, that speedy response, quickly, with a don't know mind. The power of the don't know Zen mind, the power of that mind is that it doesn't know, it doesn't have a reference or a absolute belief that what I'm looking at is wrong and is a mistake and is ugly. It is not a mind that is against what it's seeing. And that is a more open mind and a more genuine mind. It's not having an argument. It's a perspective that it's taking in the information, but it doesn't have an absolute knowing. It doesn't arrive at self-hatred. It kind of doesn't arrive at anything. And everyone's got that too. You can move just as quickly into that. So if you see that you're starting to go, if you do a quick, movement into ugly, so fast, you can catch yourself. Oh, the mind is thinking what it sees as ugly in this moment. It's thinking it's ugly right now. Thinking is happening. Thinking is happening. That's all that's going on. You don't need negative thinking to get motivated to change this body. In fact, it often backfires and makes things worse and fills you with more self-hatred. It's like motivation through fear and anger and rejection. And that doesn't want to work. If we were in a prison where somebody was keeping us motivated through rejection and anger and punishment, we would want to escape. So let's do that with our same mind, just bringing it down a notch, looking at it, oh, you're doing that, you're trying to keep me safe. You're trying to keep me safe, oh mind. But I'm going to thank you for sharing. And I don't know that this is true in this moment. And to just relax. Relaxation will bring more response to food and eating that is deeply loving and kind than hatred of yourself and needing to begin to set up a deprivation or a diet or a way to not eat. And that won't last anyway, that kind of attitude towards dieting. People can grip that for a long time, maybe an entire year, I've heard, many times. I did it for a really long time, several years. And it won't lead to freedom. It'll lead to just more gripping. You never can relax. You can never let go. So let's just When we have a thought of self-hatred like that, that is shouting and screaming that you need to change and do something different, ugly. Just enter and move into the don't know mind. It doesn't know. It doesn't really know that this is ugly. It thinks it's so all-knowing, like the king of the universe. It doesn't know. And there's something beautiful about what is. And that could be a stretch. It could be a stretch for some to think what I'm seeing and gazing at in the mirror and what I'm looking at is beautiful. That could be tricky, I know. But that is a turnaround. And the most important thing is noticing the turnaround. My thinking is ugly in this situation. My thinking is ugly when it sees this body. It's, shutting down and saying, I have to do something, and using a dictator attitude. So, calmness. So, how to do that? Just say, thinking, just like Pema Chodron has showed us and taught us. Oh, thinking, thank you for trying to share mind. Thank you for sharing. And then feel your body. Feel your hands. Feel your torso. You can even close your eyes for a moment, but just feel yourself. Feel your feet touching the ground. Feel how immense and beautiful it is to be a living, breathing, conductor of life. The beauty of that. And feel it. It's slower. It's broader. It's more expansive. I like to think of this as the peace approach diet, So you're having some panic or nervousness or ideas that you absolutely must change. Have to anything. Even I have to eat something. Even that thought. I have to go eat something right now. Any have to is like a compulsion forward. Propulsion forward. It's trying to get something to happen. You're going to die unless you move. And it's not true. Turn that around. I'm going to die unless I sit still. Hold still. Feel the life force. If you can't hold still literally, like sitting in a chair in meditation with your eyes closed, because that is kind of a shocker for some people. I'll tell you about the first time I ever went on a meditation retreat. It wasn't pretty. Then don't. You can walk, but you can walk and move, a moving meditation, and still allow yourself to just feel your body. Just feel it and notice it is not the same as just that mind and that brain that's running, saying I have to. The great turnaround to anything I have to is I do not have to. I don't have to. I don't have to pull it together. I don't have to look thinner. I don't have to eat that food that I don't really want. I don't have to fix myself. I don't have to go on a diet. All right. My thinking has to. Whatever. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts that are doing their job like a little machine, a little busy protection machine. And it doesn't always have the best advice. All right. Let me know how it goes. Lots of love.